So, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Listen, my name is Kenesha Berry. I am a mindset coach. I help my clients create the mindset she needs so that she can create the life she wants. I help professional women gain the confidence and the clarity that they need to live the life they want. And so, right now, I'm just focusing on relationships because I understand that relationships are the cornerstone to everything in your life. The relationship that you're having with yourself, the relationship that you're having with others will affect everything, particularly as women. Like men have this ability to compartmentalize. And I get that you can't generalize and say one thing for everyone, but research has shown that historically, most women, not all, we tend to everything in our life somehow affects the other thing. So imagine if you're in a unhealthy relationship or you're frustrated in your relationship, whether that relationship is with your spouse, with your parents, with your children, it can affect other areas of your life. So this morning, I just want to encourage you a little bit about love and relationships and the idea of maturing in love. Like I want you to understand that love is not just an emotion. It's not just a feeling. It is a power. We are God children, and God says He does not give us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So we have a power inside of us. And so when we begin to use love as a power and not just move from the energy of feelings, I feel this or I feel that, but we recognize that when we move in love, we are choosing to move with wisdom, knowledge, understanding. We're choosing to move with kindness, gentleness. Like these are God's love words. And so I want to encourage you this morning a little bit on how to make sure you are moving and being ruled from love instead of fear. There's a teaching, Marianne Williamson. She teaches that, and I believe she gets it from this book she calls The Course of Miracles. That there are only two true emotions: the emotion of love and the emotion of fear, and that everything else is an expression of those two emotions. And so, being the God girl I am, years ago, I did deep research where I went into scripture and I looked at the word love, and everywhere there was the word love, I wrote down all the words around the word love, and where there was the word fear, I wrote down all the words around fear. And so I began to believe that she may be onto something with this concept that there are only two real emotions: the emotion of love and then emotion of fear, and then everything else is an expression of those things. So I want to ask you this morning, are you expressing from love or are you expressing from fear? I hear stories all the time where in relationships, instead of having conversations with the person you're in the relationship with, we go to other people and ask them their opinion about what do they think the person meant when they said or did something. And I always wonder, why don't you ask that person what did they mean and what did they say? So I feel like a couple of things are happening when you do that. One, you don't trust your own instinct, right? Or you're moving from fear means you're too afraid to ask the questions because maybe you're moving from the energy of rejection or worry or abandonment. So now instead of asking the person that you're in relationship with the question, your fear of worry and abandonment makes you believe that if I ask that question, they're going to leave me. They're going to kick me out. They're not going to be in they're not going to be in a relationship with. I'm going to ruin everything. So instead of asking the person the question, you begin to ask your friends and people around you, what do you think they meant when they said and they did that? That's not wisdom, because no one can tell you what someone means but the person who is conveying the information. Now, we can all guess, we can make assumptions about what they mean, but until you ask that person, you're not going to fully know and understand what is going on. So I encourage you to move from love, move from wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. These are love words. And ask, be bold enough to ask the question. Another thing I want to encourage you to be cautious of is building a fence in your mind against those that you love or those that you're in a relationship with. So many times we will all get hurt or triggered or um, be disappointed in a relationship with someone. And instead of talking to them about what you're feeling and about what you're beginning to think and believe about them, we will allow our mind to build an offense. So we will begin to build this whole story in our mind about, see, they don't care. I can't believe they did this. They was wrong. They never meant to do the thing they said they was going to do anyway because they were this kind of person. So we will build a story in our mind against the person instead of, again, communicating, asking. So one of the practices that I've recently started doing, probably in the last probably about 3-4 years, is that when I feel offense building up, when I'm thinking something negative about a person, they've done something that has disappointed me, or they said they was going to do something and they don't do it. They tell me that uh, I have an expectation, and then the expectation isn't fulfilled. So instead of building a fence, because I notice, like, I'm mindful, I'm very aware of when my mind is taking me to places that it shouldn't take me. So when I'm thinking, man, this person sucks, they didn't do what they said it was going to do. She probably never meant to do it anyway. Maybe she's just a liar. And like when I start doing that, I'm like, whoa, I'm building a fence in my heart, because what I don't like to do is I don't like that I'm holding something against you and then I get in contact with you and pretend like everything is okay. That's not okay for me. I want us to clear the air. I want us to not have any fear or anxiety or anxiousness or nastiness between us, where I'm not talking to you about the issue, but I'm talking to everyone else. And so because of when we build a fence against someone in our mind, offense, when we're offensive, like we feel like they've offended us. And so now we're building this story in our mind. That's what we do. And instead of telling the person, hey, my mind is telling me these really nasty things about you. Is this true? And I call them my mind monsters. Some really good friends who allow me to say, right now, the story I'm telling myself about you is that you don't care about me. Or the story I'm telling myself about you is that you only call me when you need me. You're not there for me. Is this true? So when I've done that in the past, wow, like it has changed everything. I have a really good friend where, God love her. If she watches this, Takesha, I'm talking about you. We would go forever and not talk. And then when I call her, she's like, oh my God, I meant to call you first. And for a while in the relationship, I would build this story of Takesha doesn't care. I only hear from her when something bad is going on in her life. So I said to her, I said, hey, I have a spirit of rejection, and my spirit of rejection will make me feel like you're rejecting me. Is that what's happening? And she was like, oh my God, no, girl, I'm a hot mess. I have a hard time getting around to people. I think of you all the time. Like, just hearing her say that was enough for me. Now, regardless of what her behavior is, like if I go a long time and don't hear from her, my mind is no longer allowed to build an offense against my friend, because I've had the conversation and I choose to believe her words instead of the words my mind make up about her. And so we have a loving relationship. We may still go a long time without talking, but I never, ever, ever anymore think it's because of some story that I made up in my mind about my friend. I know that she's my friend and that's just part of who she is. If I want to hear from her, I just got to give her a call, and we talk like nothing has changed, and it's okay. So I share that story to say, many of us will know we desire to talk to or hear from someone, and then we'll build a story in our mind about, well, they never call me. I'm not going to call them. They never there for me. It doesn't make sense. I'm always the one who make the calls. Clear that up. Clear that up, find out why that is, and then move forward in the relationship. This is what we mean when we say you're doing the work, you're maturing in love, you're choosing to make decisions from wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Reach out, ask the questions so that you can get the wisdom you need. Now you have some new knowledge about the situation, and now you have a different understanding than the one that your mind has created against your friend or your spouse or whoever. So those are the things I want you to really start considering and thinking about. Again, we have to recognize that love is a power, it's not just a feeling. And when we move from the power of love, the Bible tells us, God says that The fear of the Lord is wisdom, love, and understanding, right? So God is love. So it's not fear of like, so the Bible teaches about two different kinds of fear. The spirit of fear and the fear of the Lord. And so the fear of the Lord is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So when we move from that kind of love, because God is love, now we're shifting, we're having better relationships, and we're doing better in life. So listen, I pray that this has helped you in some kind of way. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I would love for you to join my free class on October 6th. It's called Think Your Way to a Better Marriage. It is based out of my book that I don't seem to have right here on hand. You do have to get the book to be a part of the class, but I it's not an expensive book at all. Go to my website and get it. The link is around the video. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for watching the replay. Make sure you put something in the comments to let me know that you watched the video. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Have an amazing, amazing Tuesday. Bye-bye.